What's up, y'all? I'm back with another country region guessing video. So you guys really enjoyed the Brazil one, and it's been a while, but I'm back with another. Indonesia was a highly requested one, so I'm going to be doing that. I already did an Indonesia video with Kodiak, but which you should check out. But I'm always happy to do another. Um, and yeah, Indonesia is a difficult country. I should preface by just saying that it's really hard to make sort of broad generalizations and really explain things and say this island has this thing because it doesn't really work that way in Indonesia. Things happen on a much smaller scale, like microclimate, microcultural things. So yeah, it's a little more difficult to explain, but I will try my best. And also there are some like inconsistencies, I feel like, so can't always trust things perfectly in Indonesia. But yeah, one thing that is kind of a day one meta that I feel like everyone, when they're starting out Indonesia, just has to know is the poles. So I'm just going to briefly go over like the very basics of it. So this is an asymmetrical pole. You can tell because it has like two insulators on one side and then like the pole actual like thing, the actual pole itself is like asymmetrically placed. And then here's a symmetrical one for comparison. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, and then there's one exception, which is the North Sumatra pole. It's kind of a mix of the two. So it's got a symmetrical design, but two insulators on one side and one on the other. That's found in North Sumatra and then occasionally in like West Sumatra and Aceh. But yeah, basically, symmetrical poles very common in West Cali, like Riau, West Sumatra have some, and then Java, except for East Java, so like West Central and Banten. Um, and then like the northern half of Sula as well. So those are symmetrical. So yeah. Oh, and then Maluku also. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, kind of difficult to really explain those things. You just kind of have to remember it and look at it yourself. But yeah, this now we can go into more of like, actually explaining things. So yeah, let's get started here. All right, first thing, I'm already seeing a pole. That's great. So this is a symmetrical pole. My immediate thought here is West Cali with that. Um, Especially like when you have a 90-degree angle on the pole like that is by far most common in West Cali. Another thing is this very red soil. Definitely very typical of West Cali. The poles or the houses are kind of on wooden stilts. That's very common in Kalimantan in general. But can also happen in like Sumatra, for example. Um, but yeah, I think everything makes sense. We also have these swiftlet houses, like the where they have like bird farms, I guess, and those are by far most common in Kalimantan as well. Yeah, and just with the poles, it definitely has to be West Kalimantan, so we can be pretty confident about that. Very flat, very red soil. I'm trying to see if there's like any palms. There's like maybe a couple. So I'd say maybe, it's tough to say where exactly. I kind of want to go a little more south, maybe. But yeah, it's tough to say. I'll just go there. We'll see. Yeah, it was a little more south. Okay. Yeah, I mean, red soil is just very common, for example, in like the southern part, but also kind of in the central parts as well. So it was just kind of a vibe thing there. Okay. Round two here. Kind of think we might be back in Kalimantan. We have oil palms here. Oil palms are by far most common in Sumatra and Kalimantan. Again, I'm seeing these houses on stilts. Also, the wooden planks for the houses, very common there. Um, yeah, I mean, this one is a little more tough. We have like sand on the sides of the road. I would say that's most common in like Central Cali, for example, when you see these like white areas around here. Take a look at them on satellite mode because it's very interesting. You'll see like the sandiness that you see in Central Kalimantan. So yeah, I'm thinking Central Cali is most likely here. We're also in a town. Um, I'm wondering if it could be like It's like a bigger town over here, Palangkaraya, I guess, or could be down here as well, or it could be one of these like Purukau. But I think I'm just gonna go like Palangkaraya here. I really don't have anything else. Oh yeah, wait, PKA. I think Palangkaraya is correct, and that was just purely based off vibes, so we will take that. Let's go. All right, awesome. That's great. I love when you get to confirm your guess with the meta after already knowing it. So, all right, next one here. Ooh, wow. Okay, that is gorgeous. Definitely thinking here, one of the Nusas and probably Sumbawa, because just looking at Sumbawa, if you look at the map, they have like these inlets and like volcanoes. So very, very common landscape for this area. Really, none of the rest of the islands have that sort of thing. Like East Nusa doesn't really, like Flores, I mean, Flores Island doesn't really, maybe like over here, but much less likely. And then like Timor doesn't have that, and Sumba doesn't have that either. None of these have that either. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could consider this, like this is our only other option. So could this technically be possible? Could be. Let's try and rule that out if we can. Is there anything that would really tell us here? Um, it's tough to say, really. I think you kind of have to line this up. But now that I'm saying that, I do feel like this is a possibility just because of how like this sort of lines up here, or maybe like this as well. Um, so yeah, we should definitely consider it at least. Let's take a look at Sumbawa and see. I mean, something like this could make sense. But you know what? Honestly, I'm kind of vibing with I guess could be this as well. We got quite a bit of stuff happening over here. Like there's definitely like there's like a little taller structure over there, so I don't know. I'm not sold on this place, but I kind of like the look of like something over here like this, for example. So yeah, I'm kind of happy to go for something over here like that. Yeah, other than that, I mean, just from a vegetation perspective, I think the amount of like I don't know exactly what this specific plant is called. It's some sort of like Fabaceae, which is like the bean family. I don't know. It looks like a Persian silk tree, but I'm not sure if it's that specifically. Um, but yeah, just that kind of reminds me of like the more drier parts of Indonesia. So, especially East Nusa. Um, and just like, yeah, the Nusas in general. Other than that, I mean, yeah, we got some like teak as well. Teak is more common in like the drier parts as well, but you can find it kind of all over Indonesia. Yeah, there's not really much, just mainly the landscape. I'm kind of happy to try this, especially with like 25 copyright, and then this area did get a lot of 25, so let's let's try it. Okay, it was even further actually, wow. Way down here, but we did get kind of the right area, so yeah, way out in Alor. It makes sense. Um, yeah, pretty interesting location. All right, are we back in West Cali here? We have the same asymmetrical poles. Ooh, I have no idea what they're growing here. Very cool. Um, yeah, I mean, super jungly looking. Like if you look out here, very typical landscape for Kalimantan. Um, Metal poles, very common in Kalimantan, but it's definitely not like only found there. It can be found in other places as well. And A-frame poles, same thing, common in Kalimantan, but can also be found elsewhere. Um, And also when I'm talking about metal poles, I only mean specifically ones with pole tops. So like you can find like metal poles without pole tops anywhere. Um, yeah, and then like a ton of ferns, for example. Kalimantan has a very, very jungly climate. Um, Basically gets rain all year round, I think. So like um you're gonna see a lot of ferns there, for example, and oil palms here as well. This one's kind of interesting because we do have kind of a drier looking landscape. I guess it's during their short dry season. As for where in the country, or where in the province, I'm not really sure. Probably just somewhere central like this. Just feels very rugged out there. So yeah, I'm just gonna go around there. Okay, yeah, pretty good. All right, red soil. This is what I mean. Like a metal pole like this is useless. That can be anywhere in the country. Yeah, just huge oil palm plantation over here. So that's something. I mean, I'd definitely be thinking either Sumatra or Cali based off of that. Again, like more ferns, just like we had in the last round, but you can definitely also find that in Sumatra. They're by far the most like wet islands. Um, yeah, so I have a couple of ideas here. With the very red soil, one idea that I had was like Bangka Belitung. Um, I could also see just South Sumatra and then West Cali. I think those are by far the areas with the most red soil like this. Could also be elsewhere, but probably less likely. I'm very, very, um, I'm really thinking like Bangka Belitung here. Don't really know which one. Probably Belitung if I had to guess, but I don't know. I think it might be one of the two. I just feel like these sorts of trees as well also definitely remind me of that area. So yeah, I don't really have much else to go off. I guess maybe here the soil, this like lighter like kaolin soil, um, also makes sense for Bangka Belitung. Yeah, like here as well. So yeah, I think I'm pretty happy to send one of these two. Yeah, it was Bangka, okay, but yeah, got the vibe there. Got the province streak, so we have a 5 streak going on here. Pretty nice. Let's keep it going. All right. Here we got very sandy soil, so that's something. Um, yeah, very sandy soil. That being said, we have like very similar trees to the last Bangka round, but this one I'm not as tempted to say Bangka here. I mean, it could be, but I just feel like the soil is too white. But I could be wrong because we do have like, I don't know. This does also remind me of there. Yeah, it could definitely be. Another thing about Bangka is that they have like the little tiles on top of the roof, and then the rest of the roof is metal. But I'm not really seeing it here. But that's something to keep in mind, I guess. Yeah, don't know what this is. That's interesting. Looks like part of a roof. Um, what's the copyright 24? Not super helpful there either. I was wondering if it could be like a different island around here. Rupat or yeah, I think maybe Rupat because that one has the most like white sandy soil of the bunch. Maybe Bengalis as well. Um, yeah, otherwise it could just be Riau, for example, because Riau has quite sandy soil. But this one is really difficult. I kind of want to try Rupad, but we'll see here. Let's try it. Nope, it was back in Central Cali, just downtown Palangkaraya again. I mean, makes sense. You know, I explained why the sandy soil happens there, but it is what it is. Um, yeah, okay. This one, oil palm plantations galore. Again, definitely thinking one of Kalimantan or Sumatra. We have these swiftlet houses again. So probably thinking Kalimantan, metal roofs. Um, yeah, soil check, quite sandy. I mean, I'm happy to go. I don't know. This one could also be um, South Cali, I think. Central or South Cali. The reason being it's quite populated, um, which Central Cali is really quite sparsely populated, quite more jungly. And this feels like a little more like things are happening here. So I'm thinking it's like somewhere near the border of the two, but I could see South Cali here. Or I could be wrong and it's just like more out here. Also, White Car is fascinating. I mean, White Car, you'd think more like Sumatra. Could it be Sumatra with this? Guess it could be. Could be Riau, I guess. Maybe you do just go Riau. Hmm. Nah, really tricky one, I would say. Maybe you do go Riau because it doesn't really feel like Central Cali, but that's the main place you would see the white soil. So probably do just go Riau then. Um, yeah, I guess we'll try that then. Okay, nice. Yeah, good move. Good move. The white car. I mean, white car. You really don't see that in Kalimantan. But you can find it in like basically all of the other islands. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind, I guess. Um, well, we have Surabaya pavement here. That's like herringbone pattern, but doesn't necessarily have to be Surabaya. You can find it kind of in a lot of different urban areas. Does this one check out for Surabaya? I mean, Iluki does, to be honest. Does this say anything? It says MR. I don't know if that's a place, maybe. Medora? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I would say like also the this like white cinder block with like the gray cement, like this dark gray cement color also kind of reminds me of around there. It could be Madura, could very well be the like red tiled roofs as well. Definitely makes sense for there. I think I'm happy to go Madura. We'll go here, maybe Pamekasan as well, but yeah, let's see. No, okay, it was just Graysick. Um, yeah, I mean, Surabaya pavement. Alright. This one is a specific pole, must know. So it's a symmetrical pole, but it has this little horizontal bar thingy at the bottom. That is only found in central Gorontalo and North Sulawesi. So we know we're in one of those. Question is which one? I would probably think central. We have no coconut palms at all, and Gorontalo and North Sula have a ton of coconut palms. So I think the lack of coconut palms and also just the ruggedness definitely makes me think central is most likely. Somewhere kind of in the middle over here, or possibly more this way. Is it 23? It is 23. Yeah, I'm kind of happy to go somewhere in this area because this area has a lot of 23. So yeah, let's try it. Okay, very nice. There you go. Okay, let's see what we got here. Some like asymmetrical poles all around. It looks like tons of palms. No, no tiled roofs, so not Java. These sorts of fences remind me the most of Sulawesi, like this very neat, orderly design for the fences. That's definitely something you see most commonly in Sulawesi. We don't have any South Sula roofs, though, is what I'm seeing. It's probably a little more north, but we don't have the central and upwards poles, so thinking probably West Sula is possible here. Um, maybe like somewhere along the coast over here, or I'm not sure. So anywhere along this coast is kind of a little more open, not necessarily. Let's take a look at this Mamuju. Okay, yeah, I mean, there's Mamuju, so yeah, we are in the right area. Um, yeah, I mean, basically kind of by process of elimination, I guess West Sula is the only thing remaining, with the lack of Sula, South Sula, and like Southeast Sula houses, um, the fences and the poles. So yeah, all right, very nice. Yeah, I mean, one where we had a mistake, but other than that, I think we did very well there again. Yeah, I mean, I think Indo, you just have that sometimes. They're just kind of low-key impossible locations. But yeah. All right, we have a asymmetrical pole here, and we have at least one tiled roof, so that's something to note. Not too many though. Definitely not too many. Yeah, it looks like there's only one tiled roof, so that's interesting. That's definitely very interesting. Um, okay. What might that mean then? That would mean, and we have like Hindu temples as well here. Okay, so yeah, I think I know what I'm thinking here. I think this might be, actually no, I have two options here. Do I? I guess. Okay, let me say, so the Hindu temples here, like as you can see them here as well, obviously by far most common in Bali, but this is not going to be Bali with the architecture, just, you know, generic metal roofs like this. Lampung has a high Hindu population, and then also parts of Sulawesi do as well. Like Southeast Sula, some parts of West Sula, some parts of like here and like here as well. So yeah, I think maybe, I mean, I'm not 100% sure yet on which one it could be, but I would definitely be thinking one of those. Um, Yeah, the soil is like very gray. I would say I would associate that more with Sulawesi than Lampung. Lampung tends to have very red soil. Um, yeah, and so many palms as well, which is quite typical of Sulawesi. Like the other West Sulawesi we had, for example. We do also have an oil palm here, which I did say are most common in West Cali, or no, just Cali and Sumatra, but West Sulawesi also has a good bit of oil palms. So I think we are actually in West Sula here, probably around here, because that's where you get mainly the oil palms. And yeah, I think poles check out, soil checks out, architecture probably checks out. I mean, getting tiled roofs in West Sula is kind of rare, but I wouldn't say it's impossible, so I'm happy to try that. I guess we have a mountain north, which is kind of weird. Um, could it be like down here then maybe instead? Possibly. I don't know. It could be, or I guess this area, I think you can also get oil palms, if I remember correctly. Does it say here anything? I think it might say Lua Utara. Okay, so yeah, I think we are here then, because this is Lua Utara. Okay, I got to the right answer in the end. I think with the mountain north, and just remembering that you can rarely, but they do exist, you can find oil palms around here in this part of Sulawesi. And the fact that we have a tiled roof, which I would say is more common in Sulawesi than it would be in West Sula, then I'm pretty happy to send Luwu Utara, which is like right over here. Okay, nice. We got that one. Very tricky. I mean, Indo is just tricky like that, but yeah. Okay. This one, we have this longer diagonal crossbar, um, which is, yeah, I mean, it's still asymmetrical design, but just a longer diagonal bar there. So that's found in the Nusas, East and West Nusa. Um, big old volcanoes here. I am tempted to say West Nusa again with the volcanoes, Sumbawa Island. We have milkweed that is pretty common in the Nusas, just, common in more drier environments. Um, these like shoddily looking fences here, shoddy looking, definitely are very common in the Nooses. We have a coast here. It looks like mangroves out here, but that's not very helpful because you can find mangroves on any coast. Yeah, it's not really too much here. I mean, this volcano is the main thing. That's a very cool looking area with the volcano up there. Wonder what volcano it could be. Could be this one, I guess, and we'd be like down here. Although that might be a little too northwest. I don't know. No, I think we would have some mountains closer over here then. What else would make sense? This one doesn't have volcano. It could be, we could be looking actually at the Lombok volcano. And we are like here somewhere. That would definitely check out, I think. Pretty happy to send that. Yeah, I don't really think anything else makes sense. 25 copyright, I mean, could no, we have black car, I think instead of gray car, so I don't think it's the stuff out here, but always good to keep this stuff in mind. I think, this stuff is pretty new. It's 25 and I'm still kind of getting a hang of it, but I think the coverage doesn't look like that either. It's a little more green over here, the coverage. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna send one of these and try that. Okay, nice. Good. Didn't really have anything there too much. Yeah. Okay. This one is rather interesting. Very cool sort of textured design over here. That's kind of something I'm associating more with the Philippines, but yeah, you can find it in Indo as well. It looks like a Nusa pole here with the longer diagonal bar. This one like goes all the way to the end of the pole over here, so that's an easy way to tell it's a Nusa pole. What else do we have? Not too much. I mean, it's kind of rugged, kind of hilly, volcanic soil. My mind goes to Flores here. I would say Flores is by far the most rugged island, the most forested. Also a volcanic island, so it definitely makes sense here. Yeah, not really too much otherwise. Flores does have a lot of bamboo houses, although this one's not necessarily bamboo. I'm not sure what material this is. Maybe it is, I don't know. Yeah, not really too much else to go off of here. But I think it should be Flores, just based off of the landscape and soil and whatnot. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna send here. I don't really have anything else. Okay, it was actually Sumba. That is quite surprising. I guess this area in West Sumba is kind of a little more forested. The soil didn't really remind me of Sumba, and I thought maybe, let me look back. For a sec, I thought maybe we had a Sumba house, but I was like, nah, no chance. We did. Oh my god. I saw that from the corner of my eye, but I was like, nah, no chance that's actually a Sumba house because you couldn't really see it from out here. There it is. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. I guess it's Sumba. Maybe the soil wasn't quite as volcanic as I had originally thought, but yeah, tough. It is still East Nusa province, so we keep going on the province streak at least, so we'll take that. Okay, symmetrical pole here. Is this Kalimantan is the question. Doesn't really remind me of Kalimantan, to be honest. Reason being, why do I not feel like it's Kalimantan? I don't know, the vegetation just doesn't really remind me of Kalimantan. We have more of these, like plants that I talked about that were found in like the Nusas. I don't think this is specifically the Nusas, but also like pollarded sort of trees here. That is quite strange. Could it ever be the Nusas? That would be crazy, I think. But I'm trying to figure out why we have a symmetrical pole here. So that's quite weird. Maluku is the other place that has like a normal like 90-degree symmetrical pole here, but Maluku would have way more palms, I would think. So I'm not really thinking of going there. Also 25 copyright, which is you don't find that in Maluku. Okay, what else could it be? Yeah, big mountains. This one is quite weird. I mean, I really think we should just ignore the poll for the most part. I guess Sula you can, like, South Sula, possibly the other, like, southern Sulawesi um, provinces you can find symmetrical poles, but it's kind of rare, and we have massive mountains, which is very weird. What other trees do we have here? I don't know. I don't know what this tree is, but I see this a lot in Java and like the mountainous parts of Sumatra as well, but I don't think we're there. It's definitely not Java. It's too remote. There's nothing going on here. Um, Sumatra, I mean, possible, I guess. It's not out of the question, I guess, but it's quite a weird one. Um, I do think it's also maybe a little too dry for Sumatra. I don't know. Could it be a Nusa? That would be pretty crazy, I think. Big, big mountains. Did my camera just stop? Why did my camera stop? Oh, because my phone died. LOL.